Hey there, it's Amy Wall, and welcome to Face It Friday. And I am here to help you use the art, science, and magic of beauty energy so that you can restore your radiance without injections, inflammatory treatments, or procedures. And I'm actually going to start that again. So, Marikar, slash that. I haven't gone live in a while, so it's just going to take me a second. And by the way, if you are in a business that requires you to show up and shine online, I hope that this behind the scenes video gives you wings to be able to do what I'm doing as well. Because it's okay if you make a mistake, and it's okay if you need to start again. And hey, that's the beauty of live video. So I'm going to go ahead and do the intro again as soon as I feel settled. Hey, it's Amy Wall. Welcome to the Beauty Magic Club, where I help you learn the art, science, and magic of beauty energy so you can experience age freedom without injections or inflammatory treatments. And so today's video is going to be all about reclaiming sensuality. So often in this culture, we as women of all ages are really been taught, told, and sold that sensuality is so intrinsically intertwined with sexuality that many of us have forgotten that it's a vital part of being alive and experiencing life through this holographic hard light spacesuit that we call the human body. And so today, I invite you to tune into this one concept, which is beauty is self-pleasure. And pleasure is intrinsically and extrinsically intertwined with the senses. So I just got back from Sedona, where I had the honor of supporting my dear friend and client, Holly Kellogg. She is the founder of the Goddess Yoga movement, and we spent an entire weekend on her magical retreat sanctuary space in the hills of Sedona called Eden Star Sanctuary. It was right on the river. It has river access right on Oak Creek, which is this incredible river that runs full time. In California, the rivers sometimes don't run like consistently. So it was so cool to see this river that just runs the same, whether it's the summer or the winter, and just has this incredible water that we were able to be down by the river and just really immerse ourselves. There was 13 women, actually 15 total with a photographer and Holly. And we just got to immerse ourselves in all things goddess energy and all things sensuality. And the goddess yoga practice has been such a godsend to so many women because yoga was made by men for men's bodies. And so many of us try to practice yoga, try to go to the yoga classes, to do the ashtangas, to do all of the different types of yoga. I mean, I personally love hatha yoga, and I will continue to learn that. But not all of us can do the poses, and not all of us feel super comfortable in the traditional yoga practice. So goddess yoga is this new way for women to feel sexy again. But really what I discovered from the weekend with all of the women is that it really helped me tune in, turn on, and tap in to my senses. And because Holly and I share so many commonalities across our work, hers for the body and the spirit and for the moving, and mine for the face, I really felt my senses just really turn on to such a degree that since I've been back from Sedona for the last I got back Monday night, and all of the nights since then, I have been having these incredible lucid dreams. It's like my dream state got awakened and tapped in, tuned on, and turned on as well. So that's something magical that I never expected. But let's go back to the senses and the concept of beauty, and the concept that beauty is an energy, not an aesthetic and not an age. So I'll just take a little pause there. Beauty is an energy, not an aesthetic and not an age. So if beauty is an energy, how do we feel that energy? Well, in my world, beauty is a combination of cellular and spiritual energy. So synchronizing cellular and spiritual energy. And you can actually just imagine that a infinity symbol, a golden infinity symbol, has just appeared. And maybe with the new AI technologies, oh my cat, we can have a little golden infinity symbol actually show up there for me. I completely forgot where I was at because watching my cat. Mm, I'm not sure where I was going with that. The senses, pleasure, tuning in, tapping in, turning on our senses. The concept of beauty as an energy, not an aesthetic or not an age. Cellular and spiritual energy. Okay, there we go. So if we have spiritual energy, heavenly energy, we can imagine it coming up above, some golden ascension frequency, crossing over and pushing down into the earth, bringing up some beautiful golden earth energy, and bringing it into our body, just our body. So bringing in that spiritual energy, acknowledging our cellular energy. And how could we tune and turn that on even further? It would be through the senses. So think about, our concept of beauty in modern day beauty is really about an aesthetic. And I am a master at an aesthetic, right? I'm an award-winning esthetician. So I think it's important to know, and I actually just did a post about this right before I started this live video, but a lot of what you see, especially even with me, that is a glamour. That's a glamour, right? That's the aesthetic. Knowing how to have a beautiful, harmonious, balanced aesthetic that is expressing the energy that you feel inside. Of course, they're part and parcel. They're related to each other. But even if I don't have the aesthetic, turned on and streaming outwards through a camera, and the gloss and the golden energy earrings and the necklace and the off the shoulder, even if I'm not presenting that to you, I'm still feeling it inside. And I think that that's one of the missing conversations about beauty in general. There's three mirrors when we think of beauty. There's the mirror that you look at your own reflection, which is an inverted reflection, right? There's the reflection that other people are seeing, of you, which, you know, every beauty critic in town is going to tell you is not important. Like, you know, that's of the patriarchy and it's not important. I don't agree with that because I think the way that I can stream beauty if I choose and affect the people around me is delightful and opens lots of doors for me. So I still love that mirror as well. And then there's the beauty that you see of yourself when you close your eyes. There's the vision that you see of yourself when you close your eyes. So there's actually three reflections that I help my clients harmonize, and they are those three reflections: how you see yourself, how others see you, and how you see yourself with your eyes closed. And engaging the senses, reclaiming sensuality, it's an important part of that. So somebody actually DM'd me, and Francesca, this one is for you. And hopefully maybe we can just edit. I'll take a little short, I'll do a little clip out of this for TikTok or YouTube. But that brings me to the neck. She asked, what are some of the things that I do for my neck and that I recommend for my neck? And I think that it really ties in perfectly to this concept of reclaiming sensuality, because the neck is one of the most highly charged areas of a woman's body. Now, the real bummer is that when I talk about this stuff and saying, like, you know, sensuality is not straight sexuality, how other people are responding to you. Of course, if I like start doing all this stuff and putting on TikTok, I'm going to get 1 million guys like saying weird comments and stuff, but I'm still going to do it anyways because there's somebody out there that needs to hear it. And primarily, the woman that I'm meant to serve is a little bit younger than me, that is struggling with her self-image, who doesn't know how to actually see herself, and who is really struggling with the aging process. So everything I do, just know, I mean, I love everybody and I hope everybody can take a little bit away from anything that I create, but I have one specific woman that I create for, and that's who it is. And so I will still continue to expose my neck, even though I will open myself up for possibly creepy comments. And actually, they're actually not that creepy, so it's okay. And at 55 years old, I mean, it is a nice compliment that men still find me attractive. So there's that. But let's go back to the neck. So she asked, what can we do for the neck and what do I do for the neck? And I would love to talk about that. And I would love to bring it in to this concept of reclaiming our sensuality. So as I was beginning to say, the neck is, well, let's first of all just acknowledge that it's an erogenous zone, right? It's a very highly charged area of every person's body, men and women. But this is one of, you know, one of the main pleasure zones of a woman's body is the neck. And I find it very fascinating that it's also the channel in which we bring up all the energy from our body to our face. It is, you know, this giant conflux of inner rivers that come up. It's how we're draining the lymphatic fluid. It's how we're bringing the energy up to feed the face, blood flow, lymphatic flow. And I would love you to think of your neck as the stem of a flower, bringing up and going back down. So there's this beautiful sensation of the neck in a pleasurable way, and all sorts of other important ways. If you desire to restore the collagen and the elastin of your neck, one of the first things that I would recommend doing is begin to get to know your neck again. Feel, using your senses, right? Using the pads of your fingers, which are really these like little sensory tentacles connected to our eyes and our brain. Pointing also has amazing powers. So if I was in a mirror, I would point at my neck. I have a mirror behind me, so I would just point at all the areas that I see changes. And I would also use the pads of my finger to really tune into the quality of the skin. Now, in my world, I teach sort of a both and approach to restoring your radiance. So on one hand, there's nothing wrong with wrinkles. There's nothing wrong with crepiness. There's nothing wrong with your body showing age. There's nothing wrong with that. And everybody gets to choose what their experience of their body is as they age. So that's really important. I'm not here going, oh my God, my neck is getting crepey. That means I've lost my value. That means I can't look at myself in the mirror. And let me tell you, that might sound a little dramatic, but that's what's really going on for a lot of women. I know because I used to be that woman. In my early 40s, I would get my hair done and notice the very slightest bit of a crepiness here, and I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror for the rest of the appointment. So this is real talk. Women are going through this, okay? Now it's great for the multi-trillion-dollar beauty industry to come in and to be like, oh my God, you need this neck cream. Oh my God, you need this surgery. Oh my God, you need all these things. And hey, choose them if they work for you. But for me, how I restore my neck is first and foremost by touch. So what if you even just warmed up your hands and activated your fingertips? And I have trainings on this. This will be part of my upcoming light lift method. But just warming up your hands with some friction, activating the infrared that's inside of your own hands, inside of your own body. What if we just placed our whole hand on our neck? Really tuned in and tapped in and turned on the energy underneath our hands, maybe tuning into the connection between our skin and our hands, like feeling where your neck ends and your hand begins, using your awareness, maybe even shrinking it down to the size of a molecule and popping into your neck and taking a look around. Let's talk about the thyroid. What is the thing that's really most women are struggling with that's affecting their weight and their energy? It's the thyroid, this butterfly right here. And actually the butterfly can be an infinity symbol on an axis, one way and then another way. What do you need to get off of your chest? Do you need to sing? That was another beautiful practice in the goddess yoga weekend and in every goddess yoga class. And by the way, you can get a free class at her website and I will link it in the video below. But we all sang together, opening up the voice, intoning the frequencies of all of our voices together. How often are you singing? If you want a firmer, more revitalized neck, it has to have more blood flow. It has to have more nutrition. And it has to have more energy. A great way to get more energy in your neck is to sing. Ah, or scream. My dear sweet husband that I love with all of my freaking heart, the love of my life, Jeff Wall. Sometimes he sees my stuff on TikTok or Facebook and he's like, who is that woman? I would love a date with her. Because back to the, beauty not being an aesthetic, I don't find the need to also always have an aesthetic on, by the way. So I'll actually post a picture of a before and after of me just on the same day. And I can go from pretty, non-aesthetic to aesthetic in 0 to 60. But back to the voice, when I work out in the morning, a lot of times I have my earphones in and I sing the music at the top of my lungs in Portugal. I literally, I will screech, I will scream. It doesn't sound good. It sounds like someone is dying, I'm sure, a lot of the time, but I am opening up that voice. So that's another sense that you may really want to think about if you desire to restore your neck. Let's tune into something else. So the back of the neck, this is where this skin starts. I always think of it like that. So another thing is self-massage. How often are you self-massaging? And this is something that we do in the Beauty Magic Club during Skin Church. And actually, I would like to invite anybody who would like to be my guest for Skin Church this Sunday to just DM me and I'll get you a link. But we do a skintuitive massage, which is not, we're not doing a formula. We're not doing somebody else's routine. We're not doing somebody else's moves or a pre, set routine. We're tuning in to our senses. But if you desire to have a firmer neck, squeeze the back and get the blood flow starting. Okay. And I'm just in my Zoom, so I don't know what's happening on Facebook. Hope everybody is good over there. What are some other things that we can do for the neck? Well, first of all, let's and this ties into another video that I'll do probably next week. And by the way, if you haven't noticed already, I'm going to be launching my signature 6-week energetic facelift program called the Light Lift. The cart opens on May 9th next week, and you have to be on my email list to be invited to it. I only have 18 spots and it's definitely going to sell out. So grab my free resource if you haven't already. The Energetic Beauty Evolution. It's a workbook and a visualization that'll put you on my email list, or head to higherselfbeauty.com and at the very bottom you can get on the newsletter. Either way, that's happening soon. And so it just dovetails into a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, but I'm still going to be doing weekly videos. And if it's fun to stream it on Facebook, I'll continue to do so. But one thing that I'm getting to with the senses, and that I'm going to do a class on, and maybe it will be next week, is slowing down. Slowing down. And if we're tuning into the neck, one thing that I notice that I do a lot when I'm being unconscious, when I catch myself being unconscious, and being unconscious is any time where you get swept along with the wave and you're just on automatic. It's when you're driving a car into town and you don't even remember anything that you were lost in thought. It's when you're brushing your teeth. It's when you're freaking putting your skincare products on. That's why my I am daily 1 minute, 2 minute ritual, the I am ritual, it's so deceptively simple that you might think that why bother? But the main takeaway of the I am daily ritual is to take yourself off automatic and put yourself back in the observer mode, which will be another video that I'm going to do all about how to jump into the witness or the observer mode, which automatically synchronizes yourself with your higher self. You can't be conscious with awareness and not be connected to your higher self. But when I find myself in unconsciousness, a lot of times it has something to do with food. I had food scarcity growing up. I don't know if it was real or imagined, but I felt that it was real as a child. And I find myself eating really fast and eating too much if I'm unconscious. I will just start pushing it in as fast as I can. That feels vulnerable to admit because I don't know that I've ever shared that with anybody. But that's real talk. That's something that I have struggled with. I also, had some body dysmorphia growing up, and a parent who I think maybe struggled with a little bit of that as well. But that's the one thing that I try to wake up from being on automatic as much as possible when I'm eating, to slow down. That's what I was getting to with all of this with the neck. So if you're eating really fast and you're not chewing, which is going to be, we're going to get to another thing. This is going to lead us perfectly to releasing the jaw as a wonderful way to reclaim sensuality and to revitalize the tissues of your neck. But if you're eating really fast and shoveling it in, sounds so unladylike. And, that's where that's at. But I'm not going to feel shame around it. I noticed a little inner critic shame tried to just creep by right now, that I would just like, hello, please do just keep moving. It's not what we're doing here anymore. I try to really slow down and chew my food as often as I can wake up out of my automatic mode. And let's think about that food is just information. And in fact, in my world, I'm just eating food for the amount of water and light that it still contains, unless I'm eating it for pleasure. I supplement with so many different things, green powders and intentional nutrition, that food is either pleasurable or containing water and light. So fruits and vegetables, things that are not processed. I love to cook and eat beauty foods. And then I also love to eat pleasurable foods, creamy foods, crunchy foods, salty foods, all of the different foods, right? So if I'm having something very pleasurable, especially knowing that it is information for my body, I try to eat that as slowly as possible. So if you're slowing down, if you're really chewing intentionally, mindfully is a word we throw out a lot. And I don't know if it necessarily has to do with the mind, but more about your awareness as a being, bringing your awareness to the chewing, to the pleasure around your tongue, another erogenous zone, right? Really being able to, whatever it is, maybe it's something like I eat chocolate bonbons all the time. I love the brand Alter Eco. I think it's called Alter Eco. They're like little truffles, individually wrapped truffles. And if I'll take one of those and try to eat it as slowly as possible, really savoring each sensation, tuning into all of the mouthfeel, the way that the fat feels so round around my tongue, tuning into the sweetness, to the crunchiness, to the way it feels as I swallow. How much do you think that that could contribute to the energy of your neck? It really does. Okay, so let's go back to that intentional chewing, slowing down, slowing down when we touch our face, taking ourselves automatic when we come in the mirror, dropping the email list, the to-do list, really tuning in, tapping in and turning on our powers of awareness and attention and intention. Let's now move to this area of the face. Now, there's one body of work that says, or thought that says that we're not chewing enough. We have so many soft foods that our jaws have actually gotten weak, and they even have like exercise gum or things that you can do to exercise your jaw. So, I love to eat taffy is another pleasure food for me. And so I just love the way it just, I can really feel my jaw working. And yet We also know that it is the shortening and the tension in the jaw that is contributing to the majority of lower face facial aging. So if you wish to revitalize the tissue on your neck, because you're choosing to, not because your neck is wrong, not because aging is wrong, not because it means anything about you, but because you have chosen to revitalize the energy of your neck, another thing you can do is really release this jaw muscle. Really, this is a face yoga move that my mom taught me. And all it is where you open up your mouth as far as you can, as wide as you can, and then as slowly as you can, closing it. And as you do that, if you were touching up here, you'd notice all the way up into the temple. Actually, can you see that? Right here too. So if you wish to revitalize and restore the radiance and the quality of your neck tissue, use your senses, reclaim sensuality from just pure sexuality, which also has an important role, and release and connect in with your fascia, and all these muscle fibers that are holding on, just allowing a gentle release. So what I love about the holistic beauty industry is that we've got all of these things for the senses, right? We have my favorite Heritage Store rose spray that's got the magnetically charged water. You can smell it. Let's open up my little bag of my little drawer of tricks. I'm looking for maybe a gua sha stone, which I don't see right by me, but we have all sorts of rollers and gua shas that feel amazing, that allow us to connect in with our senses. We have microcurrent machines with frequencies and light that allow us to connect. One thing I'll say about using devices, which I have many devices, and I will have a device in my upcoming program, this actual mask, which you may already have a mask, but it's this mask that I like to use because it has an infrared setting, and we're going to be doing something special with the infrared. We're going to be doing some photodynamic therapy. So I'll tease more about that later. But the only caveat I would say about too much technology is it takes you away from the senses. So make sure that whenever you are doing these things that bring you closer to your senses, that you're not separating yourself too much with technology. Essential oils. Here's the violet flame. This is part of Holly's Goddess Yoga experience. This is the I am presence, the higher self, the violet flame. She starts off every class with anointing. You can anoint yourself with whatever essential oil that you have at home. Tuning into the neck, tuning into the libido vita. Dr. Janine Mahon, an incredible doctor of Chinese medicine, she makes a product called Libido Vita, and it's a Chinese formula that you can put on your neck to really tune on and turn on your senses. So what I love about the holistic beauty industry is all of these sensory tools and products. The one thing that I think is missing is our development and booking of the non-negotiable time in our calendar to bring them all out and to use them with intention and attention while we are releasing tension. So one of the most powerful things you can do, and it's part of the Beauty Magic Club, which is my $21 a month membership. My one-to-one clients pay me, $2,500 a month to work with me. So $21 a month, I think is, it's a no-brainer if you're interested in anything that I am saying. And especially if you don't want to or can't choose the light lift this round, definitely get into the Beauty Magic Club. But one of the most powerful exercises that we do inside of the Beauty Magic Club is edit and purge our products at home and take out all of the take your whole skincare routine out of the bathroom and set up a sacred beauty space somewhere in an office, maybe a bedroom, maybe a closet. This is my office, which used to be my son's bedroom back in the day. And so I have the luxury of having a giant space. I've got a beautiful mirrored vanity. I've got a lighted mirror. I've got products, tools, and all of the things. And I would say if there was one thing that would really help you take your average skincare routine and elevate it into an energetic beauty routine and evolve it, it is being intentional with where you're putting on your products as well, because it's kind of hard to get into the senses and, self-pleasure yourself through beauty, which I know like, self-pleasure. Oh my God, she said self-pleasure. And, we still have a little bit of a puritanical vein running here. That's why I think so many Europeans are attracted to my work. Over half of the members at the Beauty Magic Club are from someplace in Europe. But I digress. Beauty is self-pleasure, and I'm going to own it. It's hard and challenging. You're not going to do it if your skincare routine is in the bathroom, because who wants to self-pleasure in the bathroom? It's the energy of elimination, right? So you are eliminating there. And so it's a great place to do energy hygiene. So taking a salt shower or a salt bath, which I teach as well. Flossing, water flossing. You want a beautiful neck? Take good care of these beautiful teeth. Take good care of those gums. If you're not water flossing and keeping these healthy pink gums, you're not going to be able to have as radiant of a neck as you may want. So that's another thing. But it's a great place to do your mouth hygiene. You can wash your skin in the bathroom, obviously, but I have my clients move their beauty ritual into a dedicated ritual space so that self-pleasuring yourself with beauty and senses is just, it's easier. You can just stream, okay, yeah, I've set myself up a non-negotiable date in my calendar. Thursdays at 5 p.m. Do not disturb everybody. Put it in your Google Calendar, or maybe Sunday, maybe after you're doing some laundry. Or you've just gone grocery shopping or whatever it is. I find it helpful, and no, I have not read Atomic Habits, so maybe this is part of that. I don't know, but in my own experience, I have found it helpful to connect any new habit that I want to create onto another thing that I'm already doing, just to sort of streamline it. So my non-negotiable weekly date happens on a Sunday. I do a deep dive LED light treatment. I've been doing LED light for over 20 years. So that's nothing new, but I have added on new photodynamic therapy things and discovered a way that LED light structures the inner waters of the face. So there's special things I do. But if you're just getting started, of course, head to, the link in my bio and grab that free Energetic Beauty Evolution, where I give away the workbook and a guided visualization to help you create that inner image. Remember the 3 mirrors from the beginning of this video where I said there's 3 images? There's how you see yourself in the mirror, there's how other people see you, and there's how you see yourself with your eyes closed. If these aren't harmonizing, you're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel happy. You're going to feel off. So that's why the modern beauty industry is just ridiculous, trying to help you look good to other people. And that's all it's doing. Okay. So if you want to just start getting started with beauty energy, though, don't even grab my free thing. Just listen to this video and start it on on your own. Create a dedicated space where you could slow down, where you can really activate touch, scent, have beautiful music going. That's another thing, reclaiming sensuality. I am doing a dance party with myself every day. One of the ways I got myself off the downward beauty value spiral, which I have talked about a lot and have a whole blog about on my website. But one of the ways I did that was just like forgetting about how other people saw me, number one. I just closed that mirror down and I stopped caring about that. I only delved into how I see myself and creating a new self-image programming for how I see myself in the mirror and how I see myself with my eyes closed. Those are the only two mirrors that I care about. The third mirror, how other people see you, just happens naturally when you synchronize and align and harmonize the other two, by the way. But one of the ways that I started reversing my spiral is doing a dance party. Every single day I have a dance party. I am curating dance music. I am getting the latest, greatest stuff, finding it on TikTok and, following new people on Spotify. Holly from Goddess Yoga also got tons and tons of great music. I got a few great new songs from the classes that we did in Sedona. But turning on your senses with dance. So I don't know if anyone's noticed, and I don't know who's watching this video or who even follows me, but you'll notice that I always wear this necklace. And I always wear a version of these earrings. These are Light Life earrings. This is the energy technology. These are super moons, and this is a biogeometry pendant that has shapes on it. They say it's not as powerful to wear it on a chain. It should be on a leather, but I like it on a chain. And there's a little clearing plate, and we clear it every night. What I'm getting at is that there is a new physics of quality, not quantity. Modern physics is all about things that you can measure, but there is a new, somewhat new, maybe 50-year-old body of work by Ibrahim Karim called biogeometry, and it's the physics of shape. And I actually have the book right here because I am studying it, and I have to take actually one page for hours and hours and hours to digest it. But at the heart of this body of work is that shapes hold energy. That's why I work with the infinity symbol. So it's an arc. So a shape can be almost like an archetype where you can get into the morphic field of the shape because it has an energetic quality to it. And a really good example of this that I usually share with people when I'm first explaining or turning people on to biogeometry is the example of if you have a frying pan with water in it, the same amount of water in a frying pan will heat up more quickly than the same amount of water in a larger pot. Why is that? Because of the shape. So the energy is different within the shape. Doesn't that just make total sense? So what if I told you that dancing not only is so beneficial and tunes you in and turns you on so well because of the way that it moves the blood and the circulation and your cellular energy, but also because of the shapes that you're making. So I really think there's something there. I've never really heard anybody talk about it, but I know that my daily dance party is to flood myself with, frequencies that make me feel really fantastic and make me feel beautiful. I love to actually take each song like a little movie. I don't listen to a lot of music that I'm very intentional about the type of music that I listen to. And I think that, we're waking up around the world to the fact that music is programming in a lot of cases, right? It's tuned to a certain frequency. And if you're listening to it unconsciously and you're listening to the words, it can be actually putting little thought worms in. So be conscious with your music. And instead of being unconscious with it and allowing it to give you a thought worm, you can actually just jump into the song like it's a movie. And you could actually play out the part of the song if you wanted. That's how I relate to music. But that is another way that I'm tuning into the senses. So if you have your beauty command center set up, your sacred beauty altar in your sacred beauty space, have music. And when you're part of the Beauty Magic Club, of course, I curate a slow flow for LED light sessions and slow sensual movement, and also dance party music, because I think it's that sensuality of just like feeling yourself move that is so magnificent. And if you're not doing a daily dance party, like that is something you could start doing for free right now. There's so many things that you could do that don't cost any money. And I think that that's what, the whole entire industry is kind of quaking in their boots about. Um, you could just like watch my free YouTube videos and you could glean every single thing that I did to reverse my downward beauty value spiral, but also to rejuvenate all of the tissues of my face. And I do it through synchronized cellular and spiritual energy, which I activate through the senses. And so we have not only our physical senses, like the physical mirror, but we also have inner senses. So what is visualization but inner sensation? So go ahead and close your eyes with me if you're watching. And engage all of your senses using only your mind, and see if you can actually remember how the most beautiful rose you've ever smelled. I actually have a rose that I got at a local garden center that one of my Facebook friends, I think she grafted it, and it smells so amazing. So let's go back, smell an inner rose, bring a rose up with your mind's eye, and remember that visualization is a muscle. It gets stronger with use, and there are a few of us that can't visualize. It's a different type of synesthesia, and so you can use feeling states instead. But for most of us, we can exercise the muscle of our mind. We can engage all of our senses using only our mind. And let's bring up a rose and take a smell of that rose. Take a nice big deep inhale of the most glorious rose that you've ever smelled. And now let's imagine that either our own child or maybe a child of a relative or somebody that we know, we are seeing this baby for the first time. And maybe we've touched this baby's cheek just so softly. Can you feel that? That delicate sense. That's still a sense. Now let's think of a song that we might have on repeat. I've got one. And you can just hear the lyrics playing. Let's think of the most delicious thing. Maybe it's a pavlova, fruit pavlova, or maybe it's a lemon meringue tart. Can you feel the sides of your tongue tingle? You feel that creaminess and a little crunch of the meringue or the crust? There, you've got it. And so I invite you, as I close out this live video, I invite you to play with your senses and to reclaim sensuality from other people's ideas of sexuality. Of course, allow your sensuality to spill over into your own sacred sexuality for you, however that feels to you. But if you only started experiencing yourself through the lens of self-pleasuring and sensuality, your whole entire life could change just from that one thing. So don't hesitate to tune into your neck, tune into your fingertips, tune into your senses, eat a little bit more slowly, savor, sing, listen to the things that make you happy, that make you feel good, and create your own little island of self-pleasure and energy. It doesn't matter what's happening to you on the outside. It doesn't matter how other people view you. Just really tune into that well. Oh, and then, wow, now. Okay, just to end it out, we'll do a little toroidal clearing. So if you would like to attend Skin Church, which is our group gathering for the Beauty Magic Club, it's happening this Sunday, May 5th. I'm going to tell my story of reclaiming my beauty from the mainstream, from other people's eyes. How I stopped looking at myself through other people's eyes, how I reclaimed my value, how I increase my cellular and spiritual radiance without the use of injections, inflammatory treatments, and procedures, and how I started working with the art, science, and magic of beauty energy. And then if it is a right fit for you to join the Light Lift, that is opening up May 9th. We'll be getting started. The group calls will be happening in June. Then you can get an invitation to that. And if neither of those work for you, you can find my free resource at my website, The Energetic Beauty Evolution, and get started with the workbook and a guided visualization to help you start creating that first inner mirror image that you can start working with to reprogram your self-image, which, by the way, is the thermostat that is holding this all together. So I hope you have gleaned something from this video. As always, I am highly accessible. I'm only a DM away, and have a wonderful Friday.